finally, we answer the question, why do women end up single? Hello everybody, what is up? I'm Julia, friends call me J-Rock. Thank you for tuning into Tumbleweed Logic one more time. I appreciate you being here as always. You really could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me and I appreciate that. Now, the topic we're talking about today is why do women end up single? For those of you who didn't see my last video about why men end up single, check out that description box. And today I'm finally gonna do the follow-up. I got a lot of yes girl on my last video. Not really sure I'm gonna get the same level of support from my ladies once I drop this video. But hey, you gotta be balanced, you gotta be unbiased, you gotta tell both sides of the story. But before we get into that, if you notice, I'm trying out the Rode mic again. If you didn't watch that video when I did the review of the Rode SmartLav Plus mic, that's also in the description box. I really wasn't a fan of the sound it picked up, but all of the feedback I got was that it sounded clearer and crisper. We'll see how this turns out, giving it another shot. To the topic at hand. Why do women end up single? I know that the fellas have a couple of reasons why women end up single. They're crazy, they nag, they're crazy, and they nag. But I've got a different idea as to why women end up single. I've evaluated a lot of my friends, I've evaluated my own relationships as to why, things have gone south. And I think I've picked up a common theme. All right, fellas, are you ready for me to have your back in this one? You ready? Ladies, we still could be cool after this, all right? Okay, here it is. Women live in a fantasy world when it comes to relationships. Before people start to pounce and jump down my throat, let me finish. There is nothing wrong with wanting a fairy tale story. We've watched enough Think Like a Man movies, whatever other chick flicks we've watched. There's nothing wrong with wanting a fairy tale ending. But the problem with that is that women hold men in the real world to the standards of movie characters. I just don't think that's fair. Now, I had written a blog post about this a while ago. It's called The Problem with Women. And it had the same theme of women have these expectations of men that aren't based in fact or real life. This is not all women. I know that some of you have made the choice to be single. This doesn't apply to all of you, so this is not a blanket, but I've seen a recurring theme in a lot of women. So there's my disclaimer. Women want men to be the knights in shining armor, the ones who are sweeping in and sweeping them off their feet, pursuing them relentlessly, want men to roll out the red carpet at every possible opportunity. And if you have a dude like that, that's dope, but that's just not every man. You can't be upset when the guy that you say you like doesn't act that way. That may not be his character. On top of that, part of the issue is women expect all of that from men while doing the bare minimum. You can't expect a man to do all of this for you. You want him to court you and wine and dine you and listen to all your problems and take you on trips, and you want him to do all of that for you while you sit back and just look pretty. How is that fair? Many times women forget that men are human beings just the same. They want love just the same. They expect reciprocation just the same. They don't expect to be doing everything. And I understand the whole traditional vibe that, men can be the pursuers and all that. That's all well and good, whatever. But you still have to treat a man like he matters and like he has feelings. You have to also bring something to the table other than your good looks and your pretty smile. You have to show why you deserve this treatment. Because think about it this way. If a man has to put in all this work up front just to get you, don't you think he's gonna be exhausted by the time he gets into the relationship? He's not gonna have anything left. And now, before anyone says, well, that means he really doesn't care about her if he's not willing to put in all the work. No, that's not what it means. Now, I'm not saying that men shouldn't put in any work at all when it comes to pursuing a woman that they're interested in. That's not what I'm saying. I believe that if something comes too easy to you, that means you're probably not going to cherish it, you're not going to put in the work to keep it, you're not going to value it. So I do believe that there should be some effort involved. However, though, a lot of women call themselves playing hard to get, but while they're really just making a man jump through useless hoops to say that they made a man work for it. I don't I don't think anything's wrong with holding a man to a standard, but you also have to hold yourself to the same standard. Now, the second reason, kind of tying in with women living in a fantasy world, is that women operate in the mindset that men should react the exact same way that they would in any given situation, not taking into account that men are men and they're not women, so they're going to react differently. They're built differently than we are. Their emotions are built differently. The way they process things and handle things, it's just completely different. And sometimes we jump down men's throats because, well, why isn't this important to you? Why aren't you acting this way? Why? He's not supposed to. He's not you. How you handle something is how you handle something. How he handles something is how he handles something. It's important, though, for you to do your due diligence on the kind of man you're dealing with to make sure it's something that you want. But you can't jump into the relationship with someone and then be upset that they're not acting the way that you would want them to act. They're not you. They're not your clone. Now, if their personality does not work for you, that's a completely different thing. If it's just that it's not a fit, it's not a fit. Move on. You know, there's someone else out there for you. But we can't get mad when men don't react the way we would want them to. They're not us. We have to be a little bit more forgiving. And this is particularly important when it comes to emotional issues. Sometimes when we're talking through things, we'll cry and we're sad and, you know, we're going back and forth and we're highly kind of, you know, on 100. But for men, they don't act that way, or some of them don't act that way. And we get mad because they aren't all on 100,000 trillion with us. That may just not be his character. I mean, think about it. If you're a basket case, do you really want your man to be a basket case too? It doesn't mean that he doesn't care. That doesn't mean that he's not listening. But sometimes we take it as an insult. Ladies, cut your man some slack. Just because he's not reacting the way that you would want him to react or the way that you're reacting doesn't mean that it isn't of importance to him. It doesn't mean that he's not listening. That doesn't mean he doesn't care. Give him a break and try to listen to things from his point of view, because what you're asking him to do is listen to things from your point of view. If you want him to be attentive and try to understand you, your needs, your personality, all of that, it is your responsibility to also listen to everything on his end. Men want love too. Men are no less deserving of affection or attentiveness or any of these things. They're no less deserving of that than you. So whatever it is that you're asking dudes to do for you, you have to be willing to do the same as well. Good looks, good cooch, good whatever it is that you think that you have is not enough to sustain a man to be with you, or your expectations of what a man should do when it comes to being with you. If you really want a man to stick around, you have to show him that you're willing to put in enough effort for him to stick around, and let him do the same. So to quickly recap, why do women end up single? It's simply because we live in a fantasy world, and sometimes the expectations that we have for men are far above the expectations that we have for ourselves when it comes to how we treat them. But ladies, let me know what you think. If you're pissed off, you think I'm way off base, whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. Fellas, I want to hear from you. And until next time, I want you guys to laugh hard, love hard, and dream big. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I would appreciate that. That lets me know that you like the content so that I can keep it coming for you guys. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button somewhere along here. That way you don't miss any of the content that's coming out. Plus, you would help us reach our goal of getting our first 100 subscribers. We're on our way. So if you hit that button, you can help us get there. Thank you guys for watching, and this is J Rock out.